that the Sunnah is a tafsir of the Qur'an. The Sunnah explains the Qur'an. وَتُبَيِّنُهُ, and highlights it, explains it. وَتَدُلُّ عَلَيْهِ, okay, just different ways of explaining it. وَتُعَبِّرُ عَنْ, and expresses the Qur'an. The Sunnah is an expression of the Qur'an. The Qur'an and Sunnah are not two different things in terms of what they mean. The Qur'an, if you want the understanding of the Qur'an, then you have to look into the Sunnah. وما وصف الرسول به ربه عز وجل من الأحاديث الصحاح التي تلقى أهل المعرفة بالقبول وجب الإيمان بها كذلك. And those ahadith that the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wasallam receives from his Lord, which are authentic, التي تلقاها أهل المعرفة بالقبول, that those same ahadith that the scholars of Al-Islam, the great scholars of Al-Islam, accepted unanimously, وجب الإيمان بها كذلك. It's wajib for us to believe in them. Now there's an important point that everyone needs to understand, where he says that فَالسُنَّةُ تُفَسَّرُ الْقُرْآنِ, or al-sunnah mufassirah lil-Qur'an, that the sunnah is a tafsir for the Qur'an. This is a qa'idah muhimma jiddan. This is a very important point. The sunnah is a clarification of the Qur'an. So, with regards to the levels of Islamic law, then there are four. The levels of Islamic law legislation are four. Number one is Al-Qur'an. The Qur'an is the first source of legislation. Number two, the Sunnah. Number three, Al-Ijma', consensus, scholarly consensus. And number four is Al-Qiyas, which is analogy. When we say that number one is the Qur'an and number two is the Sunnah, we are not saying that the Sunnah is below the Qur'an in terms of importance. That's a very important point. We're not saying that the Sunnah is below the Qur'an in importance. We're saying that the Sunnah is number two just for numerical purposes. It's only number two for numerical purposes. It's not number two because it's below the Qur'an in terms of its legal strength. That needs to be something very important. The legal strength of the Sunnah is as strong as the Qur'an. And if that wasn't the case, how would we pray our 5 daily prayers? The 5 daily prayers, how to pray them, are not found in the Qur'an. How to pray the salah is not found in the Qur'an in detail. The detail comes from the Sunnah. How to give the adhan, which is wajib, obligatory, does not come from the Qur'an. It comes from the Sunnah. Okay? And things like that. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gives us details. How to pay zakat in detail is not in the Qur'an, it's in the Sunnah. Riba, the types of riba in the Qur'an, Allah tells that riba is haram in the Qur'an. The types of riba are found in the Sunnah, they're not found in the Qur'an. Riba, what is riba? How does riba happen? It's in the Qur'an. It's in the Sunnah, it's not in the Qur'an. So the Sunnah, in terms of its legal strength, is as strong as the Qur'an, and it is an explanation of the Qur'an. Which is why the Messenger of Allah said in the Qur'an, said in the Hadith, "Alaykum bi sunnati." Upon you is my Sunnah, because the Sunnah is the explanation of the Qur'an. You can't now bring the Qur'an and think that you can just interpret it without the Sunnah. How then? Somebody, if that's the case, ask a person to give me the types of riba. How does riba work? Give me the 3 types of riba if it's in the Qur'an. They can't tell you. What does a person do if they have to do sujood sahu? They forget to do sujood in the Qur'an, in the salah. Or they forget to do an action of the prayer. How do they make it up? It's not in the Qur'an, it's in the Sunnah. If a person, Allah said in the Qur'an, السارق والسارقة فاقطعوا أيديهما. A male thief and a female thief, cut off their hands. For example, Allah said in the Qur'an. The Sunnah shows us what is to be cut, How is it supposed to be cut? And is it every thief? Because Allah said in the Qur'an, as-sariq. A-sariq is a thief. But not every thief's hand is cut in Islamic law. A person who is a thief, if somebody steals a book from this masjid, he's a thief. Does that mean his hand's going to be cut? No, it doesn't mean that. So the Sunnah will tell you, okay, a hirz, something has to be stolen from, is a hirz. It has to be something, a place where the wealth has been preserved. Number one, it has to be ind al khafa. It has to be secretly done. It can't be something out in the open, and it has to be of a particular amount of wealth. The Messenger of Allah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said in the hadith, "La qat'a fi rub'i dinarin fasa'idan." Okay, that there is no there is no cutting in a rub' dinar, in a quarter, okay, or rub' in a fourth of a dinar, and other than that, and higher than that, that's when you cut. The Quran doesn't say that. So for us to now say that the Sunnah is not on the level of the Quran is problematic, because I heard a fatwa. I heard a fatwa from a big alim. He's a big scholar. But his aqeedah, I don't know if his aqeedah is from Ahlul Sunnah wal Jama'ah, but he's known for fiqh. He's very known for fiqh. So he was asked a question about the beard. And alhamdulillah, he doesn't speak English, so no one's affected by his fatwa. Even though in some masail, people take his fatwa, zakat and things like that. He's, mashallah, he knows his stuff. Ala kulli hal, he was asked about the beard. He said that the beard, the instruction did not come from the Qur'an. It came from the Sunnah. And because the Sunnah is not as strong as the Qur'an in legal strength, the option of having a beard is Sunnah. Now, his reasoning behind that was that the Sunnah is weaker than the Qur'an. That is something that Ahlul Sunnah wal Jama'ah do not accept. That's not a call from Ahlul Sunnah wal Jama'ah. Ahlul Sunnah wal Jama'ah of the opinion and of the correct belief that the Qur'an and the Sunnah are both unanimously as strong as one another in terms of their legal strength. That's a very important point that we need to understand. Which is why, and this is just an off point for those who are students of knowledge, the ulama say that يجوز نسخ القرآن بالسنة. They say that a verse of Qur'an can be abrogated by the Sunnah غير أنه ليس هناك مثال مستقر. Even though there's not a particular example that happened, theoretically it can be done because the Sunnah is as strong as the Quran. So then Shaykh al-Islam Ibn